Okay.
Okay, ma'am. So, good evening, respected jury members, honorable chief guests, and my esteemed fellow research mates. Um, Today, I'm going to talk about a novel topic that is English literature text generation using artificial intelligence. So, here is the brief table of contents that we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about what this research is all about. We'll talk about the importance of literature. We'll talk about the power of AI in text generation, and we'll show some eminent authors and the simulation using computers. And then we'll dive into a deep analysis session. I'm looking forward to do that. And then we'll talk briefly about the limitations. So, about the project, what the project is about is that it brings together machine generated work in the field of English literature and provides an analysis over the same. So, we'll just skip through this. So, let us first define what literature is. Um, Literature, the true meaning, the meaning of true literature is a combined emotion of various aesthetic ideals in life, such as love, faith, duty, freedom, friendship, and reverence. And my respected jury members, I think they know well what literature is all about, so I'll just skip through this slide. So now the interesting part is that what if a computer could simulate what an author does? Like that would sure be very scary, and that's what we are here to explore. So let's unleash the power of AI in using text generation, using natural language processing. That is a part of that is a recent development in computer science, which was not a part in the earlier century, and it has been blowing the minds of everyone alike in the field. So, artificial intelligence has the ability to learn from sample data, and it can, like, if we feed data of various authors, say William Shakespeare, perhaps, like, if it learns well, then it could generate William Shakespeare quality of poems and dramas and novels, and even I don't know what not. So let's just explore that. So we'll be talking about three authors today. One of them is obviously the great William Shakespeare. Then we'll talk about like William Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet in particular, and then we'll talk about J.K. Rowling and her book Harry Potter, and then we'll talk about Blanca. He's a horror story author. Sorry, Mr. Edgar. And so here are some of the famous quotes by the famous authors that we talked about. And these are not computer generated; they're actual quotes. Now, what I want the authors, the jury members to do is that one of the jury members please volunteer for some interesting content. Please, one of the jury members. Hello.
Yes, Farhan, could you tell me what do you exactly want here to do?
Ma'am, Abhishekta, ma'am, would you like to volunteer? Like,
Yes, but but what we have to do
can you
for
just see my screen?
checking your AI?
Can you just check my? Can you just see my screen? What is it?
Yes, yes, I can see your screen. But
Yeah.
what should be the input? Any
Yeah.
quote or something like that?
Ma'am, just take the name of any random character in Romeo and Juliet. So
Okay,
just give me
Romeo,
that. Ma'am, Romeo I've already done. So someone beside Romeo.
Juliet.
Okay, ma'am. So I'll keep this running in the background while we talk more about this, and it'll generate after a while. It takes some time. So let's dwell on some of the already generated text that exist that we have put down into our model. So this is a very famous line. Now I've not labeled this slide. So I want all of you to guess, like, is this machine generated text or is this really William Shakespeare? So just a second. Sorry. Yeah, Abhishekta ma'am, I would like your views. Good night, good night. The first line is similar for too many
Hmm.
texts. So, could you guess?
I think it is borrowed from any Shakespearean, original Shakespearean text.
No, ma'am. Actually, this is an AI generated text. So, uh,
Okay.
you can know you now know that how convincing the text is, and it
Hmm.
catches patterns and all the things. The first two lines, obviously, I fed to it. It's a very famous quote that we just showed. But the rest of the text is generated using the artificial intelligence machine. And the original text was this. So somewhere around here, good night, parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be more. This is the original text. So I didn't label it just for fun. And let's proceed. This is another AI generated text by William Shakespeare. Should she kneel be in shall not weep received unleashed me. Like you can see the generated text and the rhyming scheme and the things, but it doesn't make a lot of sense that we talked about in literature that it should be cohesive and things. This is one of the Harry Potter texts. I think the text should be done by now. I'll just check that once. Yes. So we provided Juliet and it generated this text. I leave the audience to read it out. Um, some of the minor mistakes that it makes is in the spellings, but I don't see it here. Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't get that. Okay, okay. So these are some of the generated text that this is the live generation that's occurring. And let's go back. This is the Harry Potter generated text. We fed all of Harry Potter into it. So that's the text. This is by Sir Edgar. He writes horror text. So uh, all of demons and things are present like that. And so let's talk about some of the limitations and the future perspectives. Like the limitations are that not all text makes sense. And why is that exactly? Because the plot catching and the things are not present, and there are some there are some minor mistakes like spelling mistakes and things, but that are not shown here like clearly. But still, it makes some mistakes sometimes, and that's all. And do we have to fear this? Do we have to fear that English writers will get replaced one day by artificial intelligence? Clearly not, because it's not that great that it will generate all the plots and the summaries by itself. It will give an idea definitely and will help writers to write better texts in the future. And so that's it. And that's my team. I'm from third year. That's all I would like to say. The judges, if you have any queries.
Yes, I would like to ask
Yes,
Aparna
ma'am.
ma'am and Kriti ma'am if they have any question because it's a kind of engineer's perspective towards Shakespeare and classical texts.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Should I go through some of the texts? Like, it is sometimes interesting to read through the text. It is sometimes very interesting to go through all the texts. So, and particularly this one. So, any questions by the judges?
The speaker was Farhan, right? Or is it
Yes,
no?
Farhan.
Yeah. It was me.
Right. That was a nice presentation, Farhan. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
something
much.
new, and this is something not I've come across earlier.
Yes, ma'am.
Although I think the artificial intelligence, usurping humanity, kind of the fear of the post-human, or the prospects of the post-human, they have been preoccupying people for a long time now. Even you go back to Frankenstein, also, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It was all about how the the something greater than human is kind of replacing the human, and then how all that kind of falls apart. So
Yes,
I think this could be both a utopia and a dystopia. I mean, I don't
yes,
know, as you said, it will never replace the human, which kind of
yes,
is assuring to a certain extent, because if what if another Shakespeare comes alive through artificial intelligence, I mean, that could be scary and that could be
yes, ma'am.
extremely disconcerting also, and probably it
Definitely.
might not ever happen, as you say. So what I was wondering is that you've given us a alternative framework of imagination which is not human, and the idea of creativity which does not come out of the human head, and then you are also questioning its viability. But I mean, aren't you yourself, not very sure of all this? Is this is just something which is coming out of your imagination, or is it something that is actually happening, and how far has it proceeded? I mean, this all looks so surreal to me as of now. I don't know. I was a little
Yes, ma'am.
worried about how you see it in the next 10 years or 20 years, and whether you do see something like this materializing in due course, because that looks a little scary at this point of view.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, I would just like to add my question to what you said.
Absolutely, I'm so sorry.
Farhan, yeah, Farhan, my same question. I would just kind of reframe it. Could you just
Mhm.
tell what would be the application of this AI that you have showed us? You have rightly done what you have done, but then
Yes,
could
ma'am.
you please say some, put some light on the implications or the applications of what you have done? Where do you see this going, and how
Yes,
would
ma'am.
it help, or how would it, help in creating what it would actually do? So we would want to know that.
Yes, ma'am. So, thanks for the overwhelming response. Like I said in my earlier speech, that AI has definitely been evolving, and how AI is or actually works is that like we work on neural signals, and AI works on neural networks. So, as long as we can imitate what a single neuron does, we are learning like humans learn. Like we read some of the text and then we create some of the text, and that process goes on and the learning process goes on, and that's how an AI also learns actually. But the only difference between a human and an AI is that the human network of the neurons is highly complicated as compared to an AI. An AI neural network is very simple. So as the structures get more complicated, I guess we will get closer and closer to Shakespeare. But I think that day is very far from like
But
being a.
Farhan, the
Yes, ma'am.
question still isn't answered,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
because,
ma'am. What
like
do you mean?
Aparna ma'am also said, that it's very disconcerting if we have another Shakespeare. Okay,
Yes.
so we actually do not need another Shakespeare, or any of his work that he has created to be
Yes, ma'am.
redone. That also with the help of an AI, right?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
know the uses of AI, so we would actually want to know, how would you use AI to the benefit of literature? That was my question.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you see this working? What are the applications of AI in language? Okay, if I just say that Shakespeare, or Harry Potter, or the other things that you have just portrayed in your presentation as a
Yes, ma'am.
different story,
Yes, ma'am.
even then, how do you see AI helping in literature?
Ma'am, let's say we are like I'm an author. Let's say that I'm an author writing stories and making a living out of that. And my writing style has been fixed for a long time. I like to write horror stories and things. And like I have 5 books published. Let's say that. So what I can do is I can push out those the text of that 5 books, and just put it into an AI agent like this that generates text, and then I could get out of that a new story, a new plot that would help me, rather not replace me. That is the concept that I'm trying to say right here. That it would help me rather than exploit that fact that I could get replaced. I would never get replaced, but I would definitely get a lot of help through the plots, through the characters, through the dialogues and things, and that would definitely help me in the future. It would never replace me. That is the point I'm trying to make. And we are never going to replace a great author like William Shakespeare. So
Okay, thank you, Farhan,
yes,
for your presentation. Now I would like to call Mahima and Madhuparna once again.